Hi everyone, this is Alan Lepofsky from Constellation Research, and I'm coming to you today with Alan's Angle to talk to you about today's exciting announcements around Microsoft acquiring LinkedIn. Now, as you can see here, Microsoft has announced a deal at almost $200 a share. It equals about a $26 billion deal where Microsoft will take over LinkedIn. The executives at LinkedIn will remain in charge, and it will be operated sort of as an independent unit, keeping its brand and keeping its name. One of the more important statistics we see is that LinkedIn currently has 433 million users, and they call them members. So let's take a quick look at this acquisition and the components of LinkedIn and where they fit in, what use cases these things will be useful for. Along the bottom, I've sort of defined the properties of LinkedIn as four major aspect areas. You have what most people are familiar with, the user profiles, those LinkedIn invitations you get. There's also a social component to LinkedIn called groups, which over the years has sort of ebbed and flowed in popularity. Right now, I think we're seeing a little bit of a resurgence. I know I see a lot more people creating content in LinkedIn. Speaking of content, LinkedIn actually owns SlideShare. So I've always said that SlideShare is the largest online repository of PowerPoint presentations. I always thought it was odd that Microsoft hadn't bought it a long time ago or long before LinkedIn did. So I guess now through another deal, they do end up owning that SlideShare content. And LinkedIn also owns lynda.com, the online training courses. The idea there is people applying for jobs could sort of fill in the talents and skills that they need by taking online courses, linking that information to their profiles, and then recruiters having access to that information. Now, underlining to all of these four things, the personal data, the group conversations, the PowerPoint presentations that are being shared, and the courses people are taking, is this underlining graph, this identity graph that links together all of those things. Who's taking what? Who knows what? Which brands do people follow? Which companies do people follow? And that could be a very, very important part to Microsoft. Now, at the top of the graph here, I've laid out 5 potential use cases for how this integration can take place and where the value of this deal could come in. The first is conversations and coordination. This is the social component. So this is the world that I live in. So this is things like how do people's profiles link to meetings and emails. When you're taking notes and you're finding out who the people are you're meeting with, how do you get all that information? Now, today, there are plugins and integration points for lots of products, but if Microsoft's able to build these things in a much deeper, richer, more native format, things built into Outlook, things built into Office 365, things built into OneNote, all of those different tools having access to LinkedIn data, I think we could have a very compelling collaborative experience. Now, obviously, social selling is a huge aspect. That's kind of one of the core components of LinkedIn. So how will sales professionals, how does this link to Microsoft's dynamic CRM world? So how will Microsoft's products be able to link into these profiles and groups and the identity graph that people are in? The HR world, the onboarding, recruiting, finding, succession planning, all of those things in the HCM HR world. My colleague Holger Mueller will be talking more about that. Customer experience. My colleague Natalie Petahoff covers this world where this is about people and the brands that they're dealing with. So how will that LinkedIn data be able to take advantage of that information? How will people be able to find out more about the brands during their shopping experience? We'll be able to LinkedIn right from perhaps a shopping or a website experience, a customer support experience, and find access to experts, find access to other people that are interested in the same brands or interested in the same products, all sorts of things that could happen there. And then my new colleague Cindy will be covering the marketing aspect of this. How will brands be able to take advantage of the data of the people? So the opposite of the customer experience. So customer experience is people going into the brands. Marketing is the brands reaching out to those people. So again, how will the dynamic CRM world be impacted, or Microsoft's dynamic CRM world be impacted by LinkedIn data? So we're just in the early days of this acquisition. We're just finding out information. I'm sure over the days and weeks and months, we're going to find out a lot more. What's this going to mean for customers? What's it going to mean for partners? LinkedIn has been notorious over the last few years for locking down API access and really angering lots of startups and lots of developers that used to be able to access that data. Microsoft is being much more open these days with their products. So what will that mean? Will Microsoft sort of convince the LinkedIn management chain to sort of open up those APIs again? If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, this is Alan Lepofsky from Constellation Research, and I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to discuss this with you. Thanks for listening. Bye.